If you're in the UK, you'd know that GAC wasn't exactly an appropriate term. But we're not in the UK, and this is not called a GAC, it's called a GAC. And I think it might upset the Apple Cart even more than some of its counterparts that have arrived onto the market. It's the GAC Emkoo, and it looks fantastic. So who is GAC? Well, according to my research, they've only been around for a couple of years, but the company itself has been around since the 50s. And GAC has had ventures with Isuzu and an ongoing current venture with Toyota as well, which means that they've got access to plenty modern tech and information, which has landed us up here with the Emkoo. The angles of these daytime running light LEDs, the way the slats merge on the side here, and then there's the rear styling. Now, usually most cars and most designers spend all their time on the front and side, but the back of this car is just as impressive looking as the front. And then there's this pearlescent color. It doesn't look cheap and cheerful, and it doesn't feel cheap and cheerful either. And then there's, wait, where's my key? Then there's that. It's supposed to be keyless entry, but we'll talk about some bugs later on when we go for a drive. When I first saw the car, I was completely taken aback, and the interior is no different. Let's start with these plush leather perforated seats, which are heated and cooled and all controlled by this interface over here. Then there are the features, of which there are plenty. You've got wireless charging, you've got wireless Apple CarPlay, and no, you don't. Sorry for those Android users out there. You've got something else in here that you need to install, an app, but apparently that's a little bit buggy too. And also, when it comes to the wireless Apple, it does seem to connect and disconnect from time to time. It's got a lot of space for cup holders, things to store, a giant cubbyhole in the middle here, and a decent size-ish cubbyhole over there. You've got plenty space on the side for bottles of water, and the back seats are very spacious for up to 3 adults quite comfortably. Then you've got the panoramic sunroof over here, the decent-ish sound system, and of course, everything is digital. But then it gets weird though. You've got this little device over here, which is designed to get the temperature to go up and down. If you don't do it there, you have to do it inside the system over here, which is a little bit tricky to navigate. I think some time spent with it might change that. The door handles are similarly strange too, just like the Mini that I lambasted a couple of weeks ago. It's also got a weird action on the door handle, which is, though, slightly more sensical. There are 2 versions of the Emkoo available in South Africa. This one is the Plus spec, which is around about 660,000, and then for around 600,000 you get the base model or entry-level model. There's not much difference between it other than the wheels, the autonomous driving on here, and a few other spec that adds up to that 50 to 60,000 rand difference. Having said that, the autonomous driving on this car is very, very good. Maybe a little too good for those of us that are lazy to drive. Okay, let's start with the good. It's got 130 kilowatts and 270 Newton meters. And once you get going, the 7-speed gearbox is smooth and the driving experience is very, very smooth, especially as I mentioned, once you get going. But getting going can be a little bit of a problem because there is a slight delay when you want to punch it. That delay does get mitigated though if you do put it in sport mode, but nobody wants to drive around in sport mode all the time though. Weirdly enough, when using the autonomous driving, the car stops and starts absolutely smoothly. But if you're driving in traffic and you're stopping and starting, it is a little bit the herky-jerky here and there. And then there's the steering, which is absolutely, completely numb. I am feeling nothing through the steering wheel, and it feels like the steering wheel rack, or if it's electronic system, is stuck in some sort of mud. Yeah, no, this is not good. But that's where the bad stuff ends. Over bumps, it feels plush and comfortable and absorbs the bumps quite easily. It's easy to live with, it's easy to park. It's got a really cool camera system over here that's 360 degrees. You can look at the wheels. It even tells you the distance away from the obstacle, although I wouldn't trust that necessarily. So you get a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer service plan and a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty, which I must say is very enticing. So should you buy the GAC Emkoo? For my money, I probably would. I'd keep it in warranty and make sure that all those 20 dealerships have the parts that I may or may not need within the next couple of years. I think that's the only real question when it comes to a car like this GAC. What's going to happen in the coming years? Will it still be in South Africa? And is all this cool tech still going to be working after the warranty period is over?